Sexy Sips. My name is Elizabeth and I use she, her pronouns.
My name is Flora. I also use she, her pronouns.
My name is Alice. I use they, them pronouns.
And I'm David, and I use he, him pronouns.
Today we are here with Jumbo Drag Collective and we're going to be putting on some drag makeup, and we are going to be interviewing Alice about sort of drag and Boston drag and everything. So first of all, would you just like to introduce you and your club?
Sure. Hi all. My name is Alice. I'm a sophomore and a clinical psych major at Tufts, and I'm also an active member of the Jumbo Drag Collective. In drag, my name is Mixtape, and I've done drag at multiple Tufts events and in the Boston area, and a little bit of drag in Providence as well. If you were at this year's orientation show, you might remember me as the one who did that dance to hand clap.
Famously. Oh my god, yeah. Okay, so as we get into our drag, we are going to be going through a couple of important topics that we think are worthy of exploring, especially within like the society we live in today. So I'm gonna hit us off with just asking you about what is your story? Like, how did you get into drag? How did you find out this was kind of your calling? Yeah, take it away.
Okay, I knew that I wanted to do drag as early as sophomore year of high school. I had a debilitating drag race phase that I tried and failed to keep secret
Don't
at
we all?
age 15.
Yeah, honestly.
Because I got it in my head that this no one could know, which lasted about 3 months before it was all I could talk about. And then at age 17, my high school theater company, Highlander Theater Company, our fall musical was Kinky Boots, which features this gorgeous drag queen Lola and her like ensemble of drag performers known as the Angels. I was cast as one of the Angels, which was such a fantastic time, and I also became like the dance captain for the Angels.
Okay.
We had like 3 numbers. We were dancing in heels. We all had like different colors that we wore. I got to wear this like beautiful purple American Girl doll trench coat.
Oh.
It was fantastic.
Oh my god.
All right, get out your glue.
Ooh, okay.
Right, so you've got your glue stick. You're gonna pick an eyebrow to start on. We're gonna do them one at a time, and you're gonna start from the outside, and you're gonna rub in circles, like really get the glue in there, and you're gonna go in circles outside to inside.
Like little circles?
Yeah, like little circles.
You need to lick it first.
Huh?
No, the licking comes later.
Okay, I'm so excited.
Too excited.
My glue, like,
Just
okay.
I don't know if I
Welcome to the SHR.
Welcome to SHR where we eat glue, by the way. Are you trying to have all the eyebrow hairs like go that way?
Don't worry about where they're going for now. Just
Okay.
like get a thick layer of glue in there.
Okay.
Because this is going to be the easiest it is to put glue on your whole brow for a while. So I did drag for the first time in high school in my little auditorium, and it was like the most incredible thing ever. Like, I think my theater director kind of knew where I was going with this.
They were like, that's the one.
That's the one.
That's the
That
one.
one right there. And then when I came to Tufts, I saw the orientation show. It was called Strut that year, but it was the same performance with the Jumbo Drag Collective and also Killa Croc and Massachusetts Turndyke.
Oh my gosh.
I know. It was such a phenomenal lineup, and there was a dance party before where I met some people that I'm still very close friends with. And I just kind of knew from there, like, this is how I get involved. This is how I get into the drag scene.
I can
Ooh.
hear the glue.
Do I get
from here.
a brush?
Yeah.
Is that like a...
Here, you can take my brush once you're done. Then you're going to brush all your hairs straight up. Like that. You can use this if you think your brows need it. You can also
Okay.
use like any of these like eyebrow
Let's ask the audience.
And actually, I don't think makeup. That doesn't do anything. Never mind.
So, is that crazy, by the way?
It's going to look like this. You're going to brush them straight up.
Okay.
Can I do a swipe?
Oh my gosh, go for it.
Do you mind if I do?
Yeah. Hard grip it, by the way.
Okay, wait. I'm not gonna take all the fun.
Oh, but you kind of did.
Yeah.
You just want to get it straight up, because the straighter it is, the less they're going to like clump. Now, you're going to do another layer of glue, and this is going to sound crazy, but to make the glue stick better, you're going to lick the glue stick, and then you're just going to go straight up and like add another layer of glue on there. And then once you're done with that, take like your little eyebrow spoolie.
Wait, do you need to do the other
comb
brow?
all the hair up. We're going to do one brow at a time, because
Okay.
otherwise they would dry out.
Got it.
Okay. No dry edge.
Yeah.
There's also.
Wait, that tastes good.
That's exactly what you need.
Okay. That's like the finer adjustments. Do I do this before or after I...
After you lick your glue stick, swipe some of it up.
I saw like the lines of
Yeah, you saw me eating this like a lollipop.
also pre-drag, I had like no makeup experience. I was very much like the sort of tomboy is a weird label, but tomboyish kid where like a little bit of gold eyeshadow was like a crazy huge step for me.
Oh yeah.
And drag is just sort of like, it's another way to play with makeup. It's another way to just experiment and fuck around and do things but not have to take them seriously. And I feel like
I love that.
with drag, it never needs to be perfect for me. Do you think you're ready to move on to the other eyebrow?
Yeah. Oh,
Alright.
another one? Great. Perfect.
So we're
More
going to set this
lipstick?
with setting powder, but we're just going to wait a moment to set it so we can get started. Same process, outside to inside, circles. Yeah. Another place that I got deep into drag in the early days, which is still now, frankly, other than the JDC, is Risk Open Stage, which is this lovely 18 plus sober open stage in Lechmere that, can I have the brush?
Yeah.
Is hosted by two wonderful local drag producers that I love and know very well, Nat and Aster Risk. Aster is actually a Tufts alum, and they founded the Jumbo Drag Collective, so the Tufts connections go way back. And they're currently working at the LGBT Center helping make Drag Me to Tufts.
Oh my god, shout out, by the way.
I love Aster so much. Yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of the drag in the Boston scene happens at bars, mainly like Jocks Cabaret and Midway Cafe, which is great. It's great to have like local bars that serve like queer communities and have a reputation of being drag spaces, but if you're under 21, there's no legal way to do a lot of drag in Boston. And that's why spaces like Risk are so important. Like, I can attest that, like, every under 21 member of the JDC has, like, made their drag debut, like, outside of campus at Risk. And it's so nice. 18 to 20-year-olds are automatically accepted in the cast. And it runs every month in Lechmere.
That's
awesome.
And it's how I've
amazing.
met so many other performers outside of the Tufts bubble, which is so great. Because, like, you'll meet somebody, and then you'll perform with them, and then you'll, like, run into them at the audience of Boston's Biggest Drag Dance a month later and be like, I remember you. And, like, you meet people, you still connect to them on Instagram. It's a wonderful community, and even if you're still kind of on the outside like I am, it's very easy to connect with people, which I love.
Have you found yourself making a lot of friends from that program?
Yeah.
It's weird to call it a program, but, like...
Absolutely.
This tastes really good.
Absolutely.
Now I'm getting really like curious.
You're getting hungry.
Getting
I'm like,
hungry.
it's
Hey, once I finish mine, you're welcome to try it.
Yeah, if you want to lick my
What does it
saliva
taste
and lipstick.
like?
Risk
Should we
has
try?
been... Yeah, I'm not going to talk. I'm going to let this happen.
They're trying to
I
go-
feel like it tastes like cherries. Sorry, I'm like so interrupting. Let's talk about Risk.
Risk, by the way, were you about to toss it? Go.
Just like chuck it through a chair.
Yeah. Risk Open Stage has helped me meet a lot of people, especially like outside of the Tufts bubble. I've met many a performer that I've like been super excited to like cheer on in their acts, if not just on social media. And like I've even like sort of booked shows because I've worked with producers in Risk before. Like in September, I did a Risk Open Stage that was co-hosted by Killa Croc and Rocco Rose, and Nat is one of the producers. And then I applied to a Dropout TV themed drag show called We've Been Queer the Whole Time. That was hosted by Nat and Rocco Rose, two people I'd worked with before, and I got in. And it was fantastic because it was like, I know these producers, I know what they're like, I know that we're gonna get along well, and like as an applicant, if they know me, that's and they know that I'm gonna like show up on time, be a good presence backstage, that's how you get gigs. So you know how you were saying earlier, like feels like you have enough glue on already. See how there's like texture and cracks there from like the natural like
a little
shape
bit,
of the
yeah.
eyebrow. The more layers of glue you put on, the less of that you have.
Oh, so actually, not even close enough. Actually,
That is
That's so much
okay.
texture.
This is a practice.
I mean, it's also your first time.
It's also your first
I'm
time.
gonna have like lines down my face that look amorphous and strange, and it's gonna be part of my look. My
Now,
drag.
Flora, you and I have
It's
the
SFX.
hard job to not
Special
like
X.
Yeah.
move your brows too much for the next 3 hours.
Wait,
Oh my God.
I've only been like.
No, do what you want with them.
Okay.
And then once you're done with that, we're all gonna start on our eye makeup, so everyone
Oh,
can
eye
take up. Is that okay?
Oh, I thought it was face makeup. Sorry, I'm like, whoa. Okay.
There are two ways that you can do drag makeup. Some people do like full like foundation and contour first and then do the fun stuff like eyes. And then some people do like their eyebrows and their eyes first and then do the rest of their face. I'm a proponent of the second simply because like I touch my face a lot and I need to like hold things steady
Yes,
when
that's
I'm
a
doing my
great point.
eyeliner. And also like if I mess up and need to wipe things off, I know that I'm not undoing too
That's
much.
a great point. Every time I put on eyeliner, I'm so bad at it. Like, I always end up having foundation that I also swipe off with the micellar water.
Actually, now that I think about it, Kimchi always does
Shout out
everything.
Kimchi.
I'm like my YouTube experience of drag. I don't do makeup. I just watch it.
That's okay.
Kimchi always does eyes first because of the fallout.
Exactly.
Yes.
You two, you're just gonna want to put some foundation on your eyes and set that now so that we can put powder and things on them. And then Flora, once you're done powdering your brows, you can take this fluffy brush and brush it up, brush all the excess powder up, and then you want to go and put you want to put your concealer color, your lighter highlight up here because these are still dark and they're still gonna stand out.
Holy powder. Okay. Just gonna.
Yeah, see, you don't need everything you put on.
I think it makes me look like a fairy. I think it makes me look like
She was a fairy.
She was a fairy.
Thank you.
All right, favorite drag artists in the Boston scene. Have to begin this lovely shout out with Asterisk, who I already mentioned. Super great performer, producer, does so much great work for inclusivity in the Boston drag space for younger performers and for sober performers. Also have to include Nat in there as well as the co-founder of Risk. I'm a big fan of Rocco Rose and all the nerd shows that they put on. Throb Zombie.
Wait, sorry, what do you mean by nerd show?
Like they do a bunch of themed shows, like the Dropout TV show.
Okay.
They
meant
did
like lectures, like drag and like performing to like a lecture going behind, and I'd be like, I'm showing up to that.
No, like they did an all AAPI and Indigenous Avatar: The Last Airbender themed drag show called "There Is No Drag in Ba Sing Se," and it was incredible.
Do you know where people can find out about this?
Pretty much just like. If you find a performer that you like, follow their Instagram, and 9 times out of 10, they will post about their upcoming shows. A great ballroom to check out in Davis Square, that is also 18 plus, is the Crystal Ballroom, because they do a lot of big drag competitions and shows there, and it's literally right in Davis.
And I think that's above the movie theater.
Yes, it is. I watched the Femmes perform, and they had a drag queen in the middle as an intermission.
Oh my god, I've been meaning to go to one of the Femmes events.
They're great. They're so great.
And we're also going to create a list of all the people that you mentioned just to put in the caption so everyone can be informed and also doesn't need to write down a list as we're talking.
Yeah, put your pen away.
Got you. Yeah. Aesthetically, Throb Zombie has to be like one of my favorite Boston performers because they have just got this amazing like drag king like horror aesthetic going on that they also produce a show at the Crystal Ballroom every couple of months called Gash that's all horror themed. It's just honestly incredible to see and watch, and I am in awe. Rusty Hammer's another big name in the drag scene, also puts on some like very incredible drag and produces an all drag king show called Mantasy, which I've not gotten to see but desperately want to in Watertown. Yeah, but like your fingers, you're mostly just gonna end up pushing around it rather than using a sponge. That's why these like rounded blenders are the best, but like sponges will absolutely work in a pinch. You can also use a brush if that feels easier and apply it on, but I'd say like sponge is probably good here. You can also, like, don't tell the makeup professionals I say this, but you can use a little bit more force and drag it around if you feel like you need to.
I'm going to tell your drag makeup professor.
Fuck. Damn it.
Which, by the way, that is a class at Tufts.
Yes.
What class number? Or
It's TDPS Infinity Drag Tech. It's taught by Akeem Celestine, and if I'm not mistaken, it will be returning to the course register next spring.
I've never heard about that. That's awesome.
It is so
That's so
fun.
cool.
It's like me and 10 other people. We were all given like some makeup. There's a lab fee, but it goes to like purchasing foundations and contours that fit your skin tone, which is lovely because I'd never find these on my own, frankly. Do what you guys need to do to get like some amount of product on your eyes before we put the eyeshadow on. And when you're ready,
I used it for setting powder actually on this day.
Trying to think, who else do I want to plug? Those are some of the older performers where I'm always like, oh my god, I love everything they do. But there are also so many newer performers in the Boston drag scene, like people who have started doing drag within like the past year or two that I also want to highlight. To Be Fair made her drag debut this September at the same show I was at, and she has like the most incredible voice, classically trained singer, she entered and won High Key, which is an all like drag singing competition in Boston.
Ooh.
Take that, Timothy Chalamet.
Take that, Timothy Chalamet. She's currently in New York as well, but like, to be fair, is just absolutely divine and such a sweet person. Fafafina also started doing drag this year and has already been booked at multiple rounds of Infatuation, which is this all-fat drag and burlesque show that happens in the Crystal Ballroom.
Amazing.
Ricky Reyes, who I've gotten to work with before, and is just like the ultimate hype man. Such an incredible drag king and has already like been so successful. Freaks, who also does animation and is an art student graduate.
That's incredible.
Carnival and Mimolette, who is more experienced, but the two of them started this lovely like New England drag clown community that I love and I'm obsessed with. Anyone from the Drag Kingdom class, which runs every year, is incredible, and I'm in awe of them. And signups are open. If you're over 21, sign up for the Kingdom class.
Ooh.
Yeah, but that is a tangent for another day. Alright, so everyone's gonna take one of these fluffy brushes.
I love brushes that are little.
We're just gonna wash these afterwards.
Okay.
Now here's the thing. There are two different types of brushes in eyeshadow. You got the fluffy brushes, like I just gave you, and then you've got these like more compact ones, like what you have, Elizabeth.
Wait, which one?
Both of them, but I'd say this
Are they
one
the
in particular.
same?
Yeah, basically.
Oh.
More just like compact angled brushes.
I've been using
Two
them
for
for the price of fun. Oh my god.
I've never heard that.
Because I made it up, actually.
Alright,
Wow. Feel free
just
to use
looking
it
at my palette, you can kind of see that there are mattes and there are shimmers colors. The shimmers are the ones that are super sparkly and have some glitter in them, and then the mattes are like this green over here. Still very pigmented, but no shimmer. And because they have like different textures and different properties, they respond differently to putting them on with different brush styles. So for your mattes, you're gonna wanna use a fluffier brush, and then for your shimmers, you wanna use this more compact angular brush.
Got it.
And you want to start with your matte colors. So you want to dip your brush into the powder. You want to like tap it. There's a lot of tapping in drag, as I've said before, so you can get a little bit out. And then, this is important, you want to tap your brush a little before you put it on your face to avoid fallout, which is when there's just like a bunch of eyeshadow coming out of the brush.
The fluffy one for the...
Fluffy one for mattes, and then the compact one for shimmers.
Ooh, got it.
And then you're going to want to go and put this like right on the center of your eye, and you can blend it out a little bit. Leave the inner corner alone for now. And if it's not looking super pigmented, you can dip back in it. You can skip the tapping step if you want, which is what I do because like I need things to be super bold. And because we're doing this pre-foundation, we can avoid fallout, which is always a good feeling. Oh my god, I forgot to draw eyebrows on. It's okay, we can start with the shadow for now, and then Flora and I will draw our eyebrows on.
So as we do this, I am really curious about where you, and like when you heard about like the history of drag, like drag in politics, drag in pride. So where did you like first hear about that, and how does that like sort of inform how you think about drag now?
I learned about the history of drag and the politics behind it sort of gradually as I sort of came into the scene and came into myself. When your drag race phase starts dictating your drag, at first like you're only learning about like current pop culture and media, but like pretty much anyone else, I grew to want to know more. And when you want to know more, it's like very easy to find. I remember in my senior year of high school, I had this American Identities textbook, which was basically an intro sociology class with a bunch of like excerpts and essays from a bunch of different people with a bunch of different viewpoints. And one of them was called The Drag Queen by Sylvia Rivera. And at the time, we weren't even reading that one for class. I just saw it and was like, I'm reading that. And that is how I learned about Sylvia Rivera, Marsha P. Johnson, all the work they did to found STAR and like create like homeless shelters for young trans people in that area, but also how badly they had it. And like a lot of what Sylvia talked about was having to like do a lot of sex work and spend a lot of years in homelessness. And some of that was like to prevent younger people from doing the same when she was running the shelter, but also there's some level of this is what has to be done. The label drag queen is actually very interesting throughout history because there is a big period of time in the 20th century where like drag performers really did not want to be labeled as drag queens and drag kings. Like, the common term that you'd see that was like socially acceptable was female impersonator or male impersonator. And that's what you'd see at clubs and brunches and bars. Meanwhile, like, the term drag queen was mostly being embraced by trans people. It's sort of like the reverse of how we see it today, and that, like, sort of like more quote-unquote professional performers, especially those who like took off the drag and had a very simple relationship with gender, used the impersonator vocabulary but really did not want to be labeled as drag performers, which is super interesting today and how it's all changed.
Oh my gosh.
I look like a raccoon. She looks beautiful. But that's super interesting. I feel like there's a lot of parts of drag that get glossed over because it's used as a buzzword now for like any sort of cross-dressing, which is just not accurate.
And like the intersection of drag and transness is very much still alive today, and like in some ways like very good. Like, I've met so many lovely members of the trans community and who are also part of the drag community, honestly some of my favorite members, and I also feel like there's still like a way that people conflate those two terms that can be harmful. Like, when there were shootings in Atlanta like a year or so ago, when people were referring to a trans woman in that time as a drag queen rather than like actually addressing her gender identity. It's very much an ongoing process, and I think drag and transness have always been related because drag is, however you want to put it, some sort of way of playing with gender. Yeah.
That's a great way to put it. I feel like a lot of people tend to not have their own definition of drag, and so or they don't know what to call like drag versus just regular makeup, but like a man decides to put on makeup or someone who's mask presenting decides to put on makeup. Like, a lot of the like just homophobia, transphobia that gets conflated with the term drag is like really it feels just really weird in generalization, like generalizing to me, and that makes a lot of sense with that context.
Yeah, and you see in like a lot of states right now, like politicians who have been demonizing trans people for a long time are now starting to demonize drag queens and drag queens as well.
Yeah,
with like,
Florida, Tennessee.
Right. Yeah, there's like bans on drag queen story hour in schools now, which is.
That is insane to me.
It's just, it doesn't make any sense.
My high school did that, and that was probably one of my favorite events that my high school did. As like, for bringing in a speaker, we had like everyone there was like, it was like a full room. Everyone was so excited to see it. A local drag artist came in. I don't remember who she was, but she had her own book that she wrote.
Oh wow.
And she did drag story time for a bunch of high schoolers, and everyone ate it up. And then she did a little like Q&A session, and it was very fun.
That's so cool, and I'm glad that you got to experience that. If you want to learn more about drag history or drag today, a couple books that I'd recommend. The Big Reveal by Sasha Velour. I have not read all of it, but I've read a lot of it, and the intro and the first chapter have really like helped me process the history of drag, and was where I was getting a lot of this information about like drag queens versus female impersonators. And like Sasha Velour has this very interesting definition of drag as just like any sort of like playful expression of gender. And also any of the books by Lahore Vajistan, aka Kareem Kumchandami, who is also a professor here at Tufts and a guest lecturer at Harvard.
Oh my goodness.
I did not know that.
Oh, we have several drag faculty members.
I'm in love. That's insane. I wish I knew that before.
Lahore is incredible. She was one of the first drag performers that I saw back when I was still 18 and in high school. Her book, Decolonized Drag, I've heard nothing but good things about.
That's a great topic.
And she has recently come out with another book called Lessons in Drag.
Cool. I have a new book to read.
Highly recommend both of those.
Okay, I definitely want to take a class with her.
Yes. A little bit less related, but still cool. She also wrote the book Ishstyle, A History of Queer Indian Nightlife, which also seems very interesting.
Awesome.
So like all of those great reading material if you're interested. One of the things that people have said about drag has been that drag is sexual in some way.
Yeah.
sorry, I'm making a face because it's just like pissing me off.
Right.
Say
Valid.
that. Should. And banning
Story
the
hours.
drag story hours in elementary schools.
This idea that drag is sexual and therefore bad and should be kept away from children is a sort of idea and a motif that's been pushed for well over a decade now. It is more coming to light, especially in the Trump administration, but it's definitely been like an overtone of conservative approaches to drag. And to that I say, there are many ways to do drag, and they are definitely not all inherently sexual. I feel like drag often gets the vibe of being sexual because a lot of drag has stemmed from nightlife, because that was the safest spot for it to exist in the queer community. But that is definitely not true of all drag today. You can have like incredibly glamorous drag that like uses like sort of like the image of like the feminine silhouette or like a really pretty feminine dress, but also does not show a lot of skin or is inherently sexual. Not that showing a lot of skin is inherently sexual either. And then there's so many forms of drag that really like aren't even about having any type of aesthetic beauty, but are instead about being like entirely silly. Like if you've heard of the term like comedy queens versus glamour queens, there's whole sectors of just like clown drag that's so clown specific. And it's just about like being silly and having fun. There's drag story times and drag things that are like meant to be educational and meant to be for kids that are like very obviously not sexual. And yeah, there is some drag that is sexual, and that's fun. But that is only a small part of the drag spectrum. And I think a lot of people who don't like drag and generally don't like the queer community jump on that as an excuse to say that all drag is sexual. And on top of that, usually when a community is being persecuted, people like use, oh, it's going to hurt the children as an excuse.
Right.
And you will see this time and time again. When in reality, things like drag story hours do a lot more help than harm for kids. It is, again, exposing them to literature, exposing them to a person who may not look or dress like them. It may be some of their first interactions with a queer person, or at least an openly queer person. And that is incredibly pivotal.
Right. I also do think that the idea that drag is inherently sexual, it does feel like a projection to me, at least for some people. I'm not gonna lie. Like, especially with makeup that is supposed to make someone look more feminine, and makeup that makes people look feminine in a way that they want.
Yeah.
Especially like the hip padding and like
Yeah.
everything.
And
Yeah.
shapewear.
Exactly. That is a big part of it. And also there's like the idea of like the misogynistic undertones over this, where it's like when women do things that make them feel happy, when they have autonomy over something like that, it makes men go like, oh, well, you like wearing makeup, then you must be a whore. Like, it's a lot of that negative messaging that gets bled into drag, I feel, that like it's like misogynistic, homophobic, transphobic, just like a lot of different phobics because for no reason.
All the phobics.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's a lot of persecution and a lot of stigma around drag right now. And that's honestly really sad to see because it's a really fun art form. It's brought me and a whole lot of other people so much joy.
I don't know why people are so against people being happy and enjoying themselves.
Exactly.
It's literally not affecting these lawmakers at all unless they're choosing to walk into a drag bar, in which case you don't have to.
Yeah.
You can.
Newsflash.
Yeah. Like, you can do your own thing.
And some of them have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are most concerned about this.
Yeah.
It very much is a projection.
Especially since, like, truly, when you're talking about feminine drag makeup, it's just taking the aspects of feminine makeup that already exist, the contour, the eyeshadow, like the fun glitter, the lips, and turning it up to 11. So are you ready to do some brow things?
Absolutely.
All
Thank
right.
you so much for waiting.
You're gonna want to look at my face for this. And we're gonna use like the exact same product because there are truly only so many ways to do brows. So if you look carefully, you'll see that over each of my brows, I've drawn 3 little reciprocal dots. One is right at like the base of where my eyebrow starts. One's about halfway up my eye at the top.
Okay.
And then one, and this is the least needed, is like in the back near the edge of the eye. And basically I'm gonna take this cream powder, this cream contour, and this like thin angular brush that like makes strokes like this, and I'm gonna drag it from place to place.
Okay.
Also, like, I've only done this a few times. Cousins, not sisters. Set the bar low. Yes.
Wait, what about like the Roblox brows that are like?
I'll add one of the things over here.
There we go.
I have one that's like not super light.
It's gorgeous, but it's not very dark, so I'm gonna have to like go over it a couple
Right.
times. The goal is to get them at least vaguely symmetrical.
Got it. Wow, that's a lot.
And then you can
Oh.
angle the brush.
Oh my gosh. It's so warrior.
See how like these are not sisters?
Mhm.
That is okay, because we are all new to this, including me. Like, I've known that I wanted to do drag, and I've done drag makeup and like 1 or 2 performances for years, but like truly, I've only started getting really deep into the scene like this year. So there's always time to learn, there's always time to grow.
Was there anything about this scene that was different from your expectations when you really got into it?
That's a really good question.
There's like so much autonomy in what you perform and where. Like, to apply for a show, you usually find either the show or the producer Instagram, and then there's a link to apply in their bio, where you basically fill out what's your name, what are your pronouns, what's your Instagram and your Venmo, and then what's your act idea. And then a producer will either be like, hey, we love your act, we'd like to book you, or sorry, not this time. And you just like have so much control over what you put on. Usually there'll be like time limits and rules about like how much mess is allowed.
Right.
But at the same time, like coming from somebody who, like, I have a theater background, and in theater it's very much like you stand over here, you do this, you move this way,
Right.
you do this choreography, you say these lines,
Yeah.
which can also be fun, but it was very eye-opening.
If my mom is watching, I'm not pulling my eyes down. I swear. She like walked in on me doing that once. She's like, "Don't do that. You're gonna like pull your skin or like something." She's like, "You're gonna regret that when you're older." And I'm like, "But it looks cool."
I'm gonna say yes, and pulling your eyes down is definitely helpful in having control for them, but like especially when you're doing liner on like the corners, if you pull your skin or stretch it in any way, when you release it, the liner's gonna look different than how you drew it.
Oh, that's a great point. Actually.
And I know this because I've done like completely straight lines with my skin pulled and then released it, and it's been like this wonky little curve.
Oh, the whole point of this is I'm gonna just smudge the shit out of this.
You know what? I approve.
So do you start like this or like this?
Yep, you want to go like inside out, and you just want to hit all 3 of those dots. And once you get to the 3rd, you can like pretty much take your brush off.
LOL. Okay, I almost stuck the landing.
That's really good. And the thing is, you can go over that carefully and
Okay.
redefine it. But I'd say like before you get too committed to that shape, do the second one so you know how much or little you need to add to each side to make them similar.
Okay, got it.
I have like done a thing where I've fully committed to one brow and then drawn the second and they look nothing alike. I'm like, well, fuck.
Okay, here. Let's.
I put so much effort into this one.
How do you usually holding it like a bow, like a violin?
Just pretty much the same
Okay.
thing. Like keep that pointy part where it is.
Dude, I've never felt so sexy. I hope we keep that in. Whoever's editing
Oh, we
it.
will, for sure.
For any of the creams that we're working with, we're gonna like periodically set them with setting powder
Got it.
and then lightly brush all that excess powder off. I'm not gonna lie, these brows are kind of choppy, but I'm okay with that.
We love
Because
choppy brows.
hashtag limited time, hashtag
Exactly.
imperfection is beautiful.
Exactly.
How do you do eyeliner on your upper waterline?
I can help you a little bit. I will say eyeliner is my nemesis. And
Okay.
the biggest piece of advice that I can give is truly go slowly and start small.
Okay, I just do the lower waterline and then put on mascara and I'm like, that's it. We're done.
You're so right.
How long does this whole process take for like a professional?
I'd say it definitely depends on the person and how important their makeup is to them. A professional can take like anywhere between like doing a super quick mug in a super short amount of time, like 40 minutes or up to hours, truthfully. It was actually Hyacinth, a member of the Jumbo Drag Collective, who basically said, the time that I need to get into drag is all the time that I am given, and then 15 minutes.
So true.
And that is very much how I operate too. If you give me 3 hours, I'm gonna spend 3 hours putting makeup on. If you give me 20 minutes, it's gonna be stressful, but I will get the makeup on in 20 minutes. Have you guys thought about what your drag names would be?
Oh my god, I'm so Oh my goodness. Okay, so my friends Joey and Ari, actually, we were talking about this. So shout out, hello. I was thinking, like, it has to be something that I'm interested in, and I want it to be, like, relating to me and my personality. And one of my things for, like, the longest time I played the violin, and I still do, but I don't play it as often, and my favorite composer is Shostakovich. And because he's just, like, so edgy and
Oh my
so,
god,
like,
I love Shostakovich.
crazy to call him edgy when he literally experienced, like, systemic oppression. But he played, like, he composed a lot of music that was just, like, really sad, and, like, it got me through a lot of different, like, difficult times. So I was like, okay, Shostakovich, what can I do with that? Y'all are already ready? Sasha Kovich.
Oh.
Ooh. And now I'm trying to figure out a spelling. Do I want to make it accurate to the pronunciation, or do I want to make
The Y?
Like,
yeah,
bitch. Like,
yeah, bitch with a Y.
Yes.
I figured it out. Sasha Kovich with a Y.
Incredible.
That's me.
Either like Dragula, like something like
Oh.
Sweet.
like something vampiric, or like something chemistry related.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, yes.
I'm such a fan.
Like maybe instead of like francium. I mean, my middle name's Francesca, so that's like similar to me. So francium, and then like, how can I like spice that up?
I love that. It's always cool to see like drag performers do like
Mhm.
takes on their actual name as well, because like that is very much a valid option. Like that's what RuPaul did.
I actually did not process that RuPaul's name was not RuPaul.
RuPaul's full name is RuPaul Charles, like RuPaul first name,
Oh.
Charles last name,
Mhm.
and not as a stage name, just as like a life name.
Okay,
Life name is
so Bob
You're
the drag
right.
queen. Yes, okay, Bob the drag queen. She initially, I don't know what she initially was, but she was performing one night, and then all of a sudden she was like just throwing out names, and then all of a sudden I got to like generic male names, and then someone was like suggesting like, I don't know, probably like John, like all these like those like just the regular names that you hear like at a business conference or something, and then someone suggested like Bob, and he was like Bob the drag queen, like. And he
Wait, I
kept
love
it,
that.
and then all of his friends were like, "Do not do that. Like, it's gonna be funny. It's gonna be a good gag for like a little bit."
Now, up until this point, what I've been doing, you can really do regardless of whatever gender identity you're trying to present as in drag. The shape of the brows and like the color of the eyeshadow or the eyeliner shape might change a little bit, but it's all like been very androgynous so far. We're gonna get into some contouring things where I will explain some of the differences between like the feminine and masculine contour, but a lot of it is still very similar. And like there are many ways to gender present. Like you could do a full femme contour and still like do something more drag king adjacent.
So what is the difference in the two contours? Would you say like the positioning in like the anatomy, or
A little bit. The drag king contour is a lot more boxier, like it brings out this like jawline over here, and as well as like sort of, if you've heard of the term like the drag king goalposts, which is drawing this like box here.
oh,
sort
like
of
the
widen
hairline
forehead.
that like
Yeah.
you line your edges up.
Yeah. And then, so it has like this more boxy effect to sort of masculinize the face and like sort of bring some width to it in some of these areas. Whereas the feminine contour, it's like a lot more like the contour is just like a streak down the side here. It's sort of trying to like make the face feel more rounded and also like get rid of some of the face on the edge, because like to feminize something is society to make it smaller and to make the face look smaller.
Mhm.
So like there's a lot more contour around here and contouring in to try and like get these very rounded silhouettes and like get rid of the jaw, basically.
Mhm.
A lot of people have this idea that drag king makeup has to be boring. It does not have to be boring. It can be just as colorful and just as fun. It's just about what face shape you're trying to construct.
I initially, when you said drag king, I was like, oh, like it doesn't have like the fun colors, like it doesn't have like purple as much. And then I was like, wait, that like doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah, colors are not feminine. Shiny things are not feminine, especially
Yes.
in drag where our goal is to play with gender.
Exactly.
So I'm glad you're recognizing these things.
Cannot be married to
Recognizing my
one.
own my own confusion.
And that's okay. I feel like I also had this like a similar idea going into this like whole planning process, but it's great to know, and honestly really liberating to know that it doesn't matter. It literally does not matter.
Yeah, literally my favorite looks that I've done as a drag king have all included some form of bright eyeshadow. Like, It was hard to see, but when I was doing the O show, my eyeshadow was turquoise and orange. And so was
that's
my eyeliner.
incredible. You were great during the O show.
Thank you.
Yes,
and then I also had like clip-in extensions that were also turquoise and orange in my hair, which was super fun. So now you're gonna take your foundation and you're gonna put it all over your face, aside from where you've already done your eyes and your eyebrows. Literally all over. And then we're gonna blend that the fuck out.
I feel like we've talked about RuPaul's Drag Race a little bit, like today, but do you think that there's something to be said about the drag base and the way that we interact with each other? Yeah.
There is a lot to be said about the Drag Race. Listen, I love Drag Race as much as the next person. It was truly like how I got into drag and how I like started learning about drag and drag queens and finding like this like art form that I was very passionate about. And it is not a perfect medium, especially when you talk about the fans behind it.
Right.
Like just as a production, Drag Race is almost pretty infamous at this point for not doing a lot of diversity in their casting, especially when it comes to like performers with a bunch of different gender identities and expressions. To this day, there still has not been a drag king on Drag Race, at least not Drag Race US. This recently changed in Drag Race Canada. Velma Jones, aka Johnny Jones, who does both Queen Drag and King Drag, was on the recent season of Canada's Drag Race. And like, shout out Velma Johnny, I love them so much. But Drag Race has just sort of been behind the curve. And this also extends to like casting openly trans performers, which they did not do for a while because RuPaul took a hot minute to accept trans people.
That's kind of insane. Like that transphobia exists so adjacently to drag.
Yeah.
It just like does not make sense to me.
Right.
It's hard
Like,
when
from
those
within
two
the
things
community.
coexist within a community. When you like really like the art form, but somebody else is telling you, no, you're not actually trans. You just like dressing up as a woman. Which is basically what she said in the 2010s. And the Drag Race fan base is known for being kind of insane.
The comment sections.
The comment sections are nuts, but even beyond that, I've heard so many stories about like Drag Race queens, especially those like edited to be like the villains of their season, receiving death threats from Drag Race fans.
I would not be surprised if Acid Betty would say that, because Acid Betty was like the villain in 9.
Her daughter Diabetti has also, I'm not sure if it's her daughter, but related, same house, has also said like she's received death threats over Drag Race, which is insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And there's definitely some aspect of like, we all need to acknowledge that this is a TV show. It's dramatized.
Right.
And these are real people behind the camera who have real feelings and don't want their lives threatened. And that is the very, very bare minimum.
So like the bar is in hell.
Yeah. The bar is in hell. And like, come on, gay people, you can do better. I really hope you can do better.
I really hope you can do better.
We as a community need to not be threatening each other. I will show you what the next step is. We're just gonna like do our highlight and contour bit by bit.
Oh yes.
But you're gonna take your highlight color and you're basically gonna make a triangle under each eye where it goes out and down. And then you're gonna blend that all in.
I think this is so beautiful. Just the beautiful thing about college. Like guys, I'm getting into drag right now.
Liberal arts college say what?
Oh, literally.
Not
the
to say that
campus
drag
setting.
can't exist anywhere.
Exactly.
Like, I know drag performers that go to Leslie, that go to BU. I have a friend at the Art Institute of Chicago who just made their drag debut.
Did we go over contouring yet?
No, that is the next step. Are you guys ready?
Absolutely.
All right, you're gonna take your contour and you're gonna like make an arc like right up at the top of your hairline and then blend that in. I've not blended mine in yet, and that's why it looks like a big headband.
Got it.
And then you're gonna do contour for your cheeks. You're gonna start like, you see where this bump of the ear is? The top of the contour is gonna match the top of the bump of the ear, and you're just gonna drag that, maybe like, not drag, tap that, maybe halfway down your face, and then stop and let that blend in. Don't overdo it. And if you want to do some more king makeup, what you're just going to do is drag that down and like complete the jawline. There's something beautiful about doing the eyeshadow first, because then every time you look at your face, you're like, I already did a hard thing, and oh my god, look at these colors.
Exactly. Like honestly, I have come to reckon with the way that I look. Every part of a person's appearance is a relic of their past and their ancestors, and I think that's really beautiful.
Exactly.
It is.
Like, we're all a tapestry, and all of our parts, there's something so natural about the way they all fit together that, like, I think is what makes a person beautiful.
Right, and not to say that like if you were to get reconstructive surgery, that's like bad. It's just
No,
like
whatever makes you feel good.
I mean, I've had a breast reduction. That doesn't mean I'm
Exactly.
bad. That's technically plastic surgery.
yeah, for sure.
But it doesn't like feel like plastic surgery, even though
Yeah.
it is. That's like still part of my family, even though I'm like adjusted.
It's also a form of like gender affirming care.
Absolutely.
It made me feel so much better about myself. I used to in high school I would very much feel uncomfortable with like being female, and I like just didn't like just existing as myself. And then having a breast reduction just made everything feel so much better.
Yeah, and I really love and reinforce the idea that gender affirming care is for trans people, but is also for cis people and anyone who wants to feel more comfortable in their gender.
As a cis person, just FYI, in case you didn't know.
Yeah.
It's also a form of like isolating trans people to just reduce gender affirming care to one particular group.
Not all gender affirming care is for trans people, and not all trans people need a gender affirming care.
Period.
Yes.
Like, I have definitely done the dance of like, do I get top surgery? Do I go on testosterone? And I do like my body and voice the way it is for the most part, and don't feel like a strong need to change that. And that does not make me any more or less trans.
Right.
That's something that like I've had to reconcile with a lot in my lifetime, especially when I like apply to shows that are specifically for trans performers, being like, I belong here. My experience maybe is not universal or something that should be the forefront of all trans representation, because like I do have the privilege of passing and like a lot of stereotypical like female body image features, but at the same time my transness is still very valid.
Right.
Alright, I think that's all we need to do with contour.
Yay.
Let me see the faces. Oh, you guys look good. If you want, you can also go in with a little bit of highlight under the contour to like blend it out. And you can also do, if you want, like contour on this chin. You might want to look here. Like on the bottom of the chin or the neck to sort of taper it off. But like that is super optional. Like I know a lot of like drag queens will sort of like contour the bottom of their chin to like make it look like they have less face and like hide some of their neck. But
like glitter highlight or like lighter color highlight?
Like contour to get rid of it. Like if it's shadowed, you can't see it is the theory. But overall, I think we have done most of the contour and you all look fabulous.
Let's go.
Now we get back to the fun stuff. Shout out, you made it to the fun stuff.
Oh my gosh, finally. Let's go.
I'm guessing we all have powder blushes and not like liquid blushes.
Right in front of you.
Shout out. So the next step that we're gonna do is we're gonna set all this cream down. Now, remember, when we put the setting powder on, everything is going to get lighter. So take a good look at your highlight and your contour and be like, is this contrasting enough? Is this bold enough that I won't be upset when some of it goes away? You can do like different colors of blush or blend it out.
Does the color of blush matter?
No, I think it's just like what you think is going to go good with your skin tone and also the colors in your makeup. But I am not a blush expert, so don't take it from me. So like if you like have blush really high in the cheekbones, it's gonna give more old age. Whereas if you've got like big like blobs of blush like right here, like on or under your cheekbones, that reads as like little kid. On your own time, feel free to start diving into lip things. It's pretty simple. I think we all know what lipstick looks like.
Ooh, yes.
Like my go-to color combination is my absolute beloved liquid lipsticks, and I'll like line my lips with black and then go over it in red.
Ooh.
And it's the best feeling. Also, like in a pinch, eyeshadow can be lipstick. It doesn't stay on long, but like if you've got foundation on your lips, that is something that they can stick to. I think my favorite part of getting into drag is like when I finally like take my hair out of whatever container it's in, and then it just feels like so much more like me. Which like I do like this bandana, but
Oh my god.
Okay, there they are. Holy crap.
same with you. Oh my gosh, is the hair down? Okay, well,
Thank you. I feel like I would totally want to explore like a clown makeup look if Sasha Kovich debuted. Like,
as you should, as you should. If you want to get white foundation, my recommendation is to get the Maron Clown White like cream foundation.
oh wait,
That is what all the clowns
Can I put on the wig?
Yes.
Where's the wig?
It is
Okay,
in the
the
checker
lashes,
bag
I
back there.
don't know.
Fair warning, it's a shitty as fuck wig. The rotating stop sale.
Oh my god!
I never said it was a good wig.
What a gorgeous.
I said on
gorgeous
record multiple times that it was not a good wig.
I think it's a gorgeous wig. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Thank you.
I want to go to a drag show with you.
Yeah, literally, like hit
We'll
us
make
up.
it happen. We'll make it happen.
Yes.
Speaking of drag shows that you can go to, this upcoming Friday, Drag Me to Tufts,
Don't ever
April
forget.
4th.
Don't you dare forget.
Jumbo Drag Collective performers are performing, including me. I got help like remaking a dress with my grandmother, so you have to be there for my grandmother.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're letting down an entire grandmother if you don't go.
Don't break Grammy's heart.
Yeah, it's the grand.
Yes, we will be on that website. So should you.
Yeah.
But you should also continue to listen to us on Sexy Sips.
Wherever you get
Yes,
your podcasts.
exactly. Wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere,
Apple
everywhere.
Podcasts.
And
Apple
follow Tufts
Podcasts.
SHR on Instagram.
At Tufts SHR.
JBC2 at Jumbo Drag Collective.
Yes.
Please.
Mixtape for you.
I will put all of these in the relevant descriptions in case you guys are interested, which you should be, because we told you to and we're always right.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm kidding. Okay, well then,
Yes.
that concludes our drag episode. Everybody, stay safe, stay sexy.
Bye.
Bye.